Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss the topic is how can we deploy components from sandbox to production using chainset. Okay, before we are going to discuss the topic, please follow basic protective measures against the coronavirus. Stay aware of the latest information on COVID-19 outbreak available on the WHO website and through your national and local public health authority. Wash your hands frequently. Maintain social distance. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice respiratory hygiene. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Stay informed and follow advice given by your healthcare provider. Please go through WHO site for more information about the precautions and how to take care of yourself and how to help others also. Okay, be careful. Now, let's begin our class. So, we already know how to deploy the components using Ant tool. Okay, you can see that session under the playlist of Salesforce textbook, that is deployment playlist. Under that, you have that session how to deploy components using Ant tool. And now, coming to our session today, we are going to discuss the topic is how to deploy components from sandbox to production. If you see here, I am talking about sandbox to production. That means if you want to deploy using chain set, you should have organizations to be connected. Okay, so let's begin this. So what we are going to discuss as part of this, what is chain set and what kind of chain sets we have in Salesforce. How can we establish connection between orgs like sandbox and production or sandbox to sandbox? How to create outbound chain set? How to validate and deploy chain set? Okay, let's go to what is chain set. A chain set is a means by which one organization can send customization to another organization. In simple sentence, you can say that you can prepare a set of components by using chain set. Chain set can only contain modifications what you can make through the setup menu. Okay, and chain sets may contain customizations to existing components. That means it may be enhancements or new components. But you can't use chain set for deleting or renaming the components. And one more thing, you can't upload data through chain sets, but you can upload custom metadata, but not the records of custom objects or standard objects. Okay, next. So, what kind of chain sets are available in Salesforce? We have two kinds of chain sets, outbound chain set and inbound chain set. What is outbound chain set? It's a chain set created in the organization you are logged into and want to send to another organization and ready for upload. Okay. In our own words, an outbound chain set is a chain set which can be created by us to upload or to move components to another organization. Okay, that is outbound chain set. What is inbound chain set? When you upload outbound chain set to a connected organization, it will be available as an inbound chain set in the destination organization where you want to deploy or where you want to validate. Okay, so that means when you have inbound chain set available in the destination organization where you want to deploy, here you can validate only or you can deploy. Both you can do. Okay, until you deploy the components, those components won't be reflected into destination organization. Now, Let's see. So as I told you, to deploy components from an organization to another organization, you should have the connection established between those two organizations. Okay, so what we have to do? So if you see here, you have to do one thing. So you have to go to the destination org and open connections, okay, under deployment settings. Then you can see such kind of things like all the sandboxes or all the orgs you have available. Okay, then you just need to click on edit. For example, here I want to accept, okay, I want to accept change sets from UAT to Salesforce Textbook Production. So you just need to open Salesforce Textbook Production and go to the deployment settings and open UAT, then check this checkbox, allow inbound changes. Then from UAT, you can upload outbound change set, and that outbound change set will become a inbound change set in Salesforce Textbook. Okay. Now, how to create an outbound change set? Okay, so you know where you have to create outbound change set, where you are going to create in the source org, like where from which org you want to move components, where you are going to create outbound change set. Okay, so you just need to go through the environments, just type change sets in quick find, then you can find out outbound change sets, there you can create. Now let's begin our practical session. Okay, so first thing is, as I told you, let's establish the connection. So my requirement is I want to move components from UAT sandbox to production environment. So now I'm going to open production environment. So if you see here, login.salesforce.com, and this is the one. So I logged into production. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to authorize, or I'm going to establish the connection to accept the change sets from UAT. So where I have to go, I just need to go to setup, deployment settings, click on this. Now here you can see the definitions, what is deployment connections, what is change sets also here also, and just continue. And if you see here, only one connection is established. That means Salesforce Textbook, this is the production organization. Salesforce Textbook is ready to accept the change sets from test 1. Okay, test 1 sandbox. Now I want to accept the change set from UAT. Okay, open this. So if you see here, connection, there is no connection. That is the meaning of this symbol. Okay, click on this, click on edit, just allow inbound change sets. That's it. Okay, now go to development settings, deployment settings again. If you see here, now Salesforce Textbook production environment can access or can accept change set from UAT. That means we can upload outbound change set to Salesforce Textbook from UAT. Now we have completed the establishment of connection between UAT and production. Now let's go to sandbox, test.salesforce.com. So this is UAT environment. So successfully logged in to UAT environment. So what we have to do here, we are going to learn here how to create a outbound chain set. So go to setup as usual. And search for outbound chain set. Click on continue. Here if you see here, new, click on new. And so you can see, you can say this release 1.0, and you can say about your release also here what kind of components, or otherwise what is the release about, why you were releasing this. You can say a few lines about this chain set. Click on this for now. Now if you see here, chain set components and profile settings. So what kind of components you can include in chain set? As I told you, whatever the configurations you can do from setup, those kind of customizations or configurations you can include. Okay. And if you want to include profile set with the field permissions also, then you have to include fields along with the profiles here. Okay, here you just need to add profiles, and here you have to add custom fields or something. So for now, what I'm going to add, click on this add, and see, these are all the components you can include: actions, apex class, triggers, approval process, and these kind of things. Okay, now what I'm going to do, apex triggers, I want to do this. I added apex triggers here and apex classes. So I have two classes. So for now, I'm going to add one class, and I want to add one custom field also. So you just need to select from here, what is the custom field? Um, this is the one, and is primary. So whenever you do all these things, so as a best practice, what you have to do, you may forget something. First of all, what you have to do always before release, you just need to prepare checklist. What is checklist? Checklist is the component list which you want to release or which you want to deploy from sandbox to production for this release. Okay, it may be in the Confluence document if you have a Confluence, or it may be in the Excel sheet. It's based on your organization where you are going to maintain checklist. So, but you have to maintain the checklist first of all. After that, you have to start these kind of things. Then you will get to know, or you are not going to miss any component while you are adding components into chain set. Now, after that, if you feel that you are missing something or you may miss something, right? So you just need to click on view or add dependencies. What it is going to showcase, or what it is going to show, it will show you the dependencies of your components, what you are trying to add now, right? So let's see. So see here, this contact trigger handler is referenced by contact actions, right? This is what you are missing. So you just need to add this. So that means you are going to see whether there is any dependencies I am missing, okay, after adding few components. or after adding all components also, you just click on view or add dependencies. You can see the dependencies if you want to add, or if it is really dependency, or if it is going to give you error for deploying, or if you are unable to deploy without that component, you have to add. Okay, so now let's upload here. Click on upload. So your chain set was uploaded successfully. Now let's see here, you will get this email. So once chain set is uploaded successfully, then you will get this email. So source organization is UAT, that's a partial copy sandbox, that's the sandbox type, and destination organization is Salesforce textbook, that is production. Okay, it is saying that. And if you see here, your outbound chain set release 1.0 has successfully uploaded. To complete the migration, an inbound change administrator must deploy the chain set in the destination organization. What is our destination organization? Production. Okay, so let's go to inbound chain set in production, that is destination organization. Now this is the production, right? So let's see. First of all, go to inbound chain set. So click on inbound chain sets and click on continue. See, it is available now. Now, what we have to do? So let's see whether we have those classes or not already. We don't have mostly. Let's see. See, we have only two classes. Now we have other classes also. What we have to do now? Open this and click on validate. So here, if you see, you have different kind of options. Okay, one is for executing the test classes. Okay, default behavior in sandbox. So basically, if you are moving product components from sandbox to production, sandbox to sandbox, it won't consider about the test classes. But if you are moving from sandbox to production, it will consider the test classes. Okay, and here you will have different options. You can go through this. Okay, in production, all local text will be executed if you take this default, along with local test or test except ones that originate from managed packages. Okay, and if you see here, it will go with all local tests. Okay, that include Apex classes on triggers, that is related to Apex classes or triggers which you are trying to deploy to production, and run all test. It will run all test in your production. Run specified test means, so you can specify your test classes here with the comma separation. Then what it is going to happen when you click on validate, it will run that specified test classes and ready, and it will make it ready for deployment of your components. Okay, so for now I am taking run all tests, click on OK. So let's see what is going to happen. So you can see the deployment status. So if you see, this is the fatal error, validation failed. Why? Because see here, if you see here, deployment component, because you don't have code coverage. You should have at least 75% of code coverage to complete the deployment. Okay, as a best practice, you should consider a minimum 80 to 90% of code coverage for every component, either Apex class or triggers. Okay, it is a best practice. As I told you, as you are deploying from sandbox to production, you should have test class code coverage. Okay, this is very important. So for now, we don't have test classes for the components which I have included. Okay, let me try to remove these components from our chain set and try to do again. So here I just clone our chain set. Okay, and here just adding this, save. I'm removing this classes from chain set, not from sandbox. So whenever you try to deploy Apex classes or triggers, you should have the test class to move those components from sandbox to production. If you are moving from sandbox to sandbox, you don't need to maintain the code coverage. Okay, but in real time, you always need to maintain, because if you are not maintaining, you will be asked to write your test class for sure. Okay, let's see here. Now I have only custom field primary. Okay, I am in sandbox UAT. Let's go to production whether we have is primary field on contact or not before we are going to upload. Okay, I am in production. Okay, and let's go to this setup. Object manager. Okay, contact. So if I see is primary, see I don't have anything now. So otherwise you can search with that. So let's go to outbound chain set. See, is primary is the field label anyway. So if I search, nothing is there in production. Now I am going to upload. So when you are going to upload any component which is not custom field or custom object, which is not Apex classes or trigger, okay, you don't need to have any test class because you can't write test class for other things. Okay, now let's upload. So if you see here, as UAT is related to or connected to production, so you are able to see only production here in target organizations. So let's wait for this. Now it's completed. So I am moving to production here, another tab. So let's go to inbound chain set. And now this is the one. Click on this and you can validate. So always try to validate first and deploy. It will be best practice. You should not use deploy directly. So if you see here, validation succeeded. Okay, because and it is not running test classes also because it doesn't have any Apex classes or triggers. If you open this, so validation succeeded. Now you can deploy. Done. So we have deployed successfully. So it is taking some time. Let's go to deployment status. So deployment succeeded, validation succeeded, and deployment succeeded. This is how you can deploy. Now let's go to the contact field in production. So let's reload this. Then you can see is primary checkbox. Just today only it got deployed. See, this is how it works. Now you saw how to deploy the components from uh, sandbox to production, and you saw you always need to maintain test code coverage or test classes for Apex classes and triggers if you have these if you have Apex classes or triggers in your chain set. Okay, now let's try to do a deployment between sandbox to another sandbox. Okay, so now I have another sandbox. So I'm logging out here from production. So I'm going to incognito window. Opening sandbox. So I have verification code 6104. Now, as usual, I want to deploy components from UAT to this sandbox. So what I have to do as a first step, I have to establish the connection, or I have to authorize in my sandbox or in destination box, okay, to accept the chain set from the source, right? So you just need to go to, so if you see, this is test one sandbox, right? Go to this same way. So what is the option we have to do? Deployment settings. So click on continue, and here, so test one and UAT, there is no connection. Now I'm going to click on UAT, click on edit, allow inbound chainsets. So what is going to happen? Now from test one you are authorizing, or from test one box you are authorizing, okay, to accept UAT, to accept chain set from UAT. See, it's saved, and you can see the connection establishment. Now test one box is ready to accept change sets from UAT. Let's go to UAT box now. Now UAT, I'm here. UAT outbound change set. As usual, I already have one change set. So release 1.0 with all the components, right? So account actions handler, contact trigger handler is primary. So if you see here, so we don't have any classes in test one. Let's see whether we have any classes. We have prepare my sandbox and test class, but we don't have any of these components. Right now I am uploading. Previously we have production only because I have established connection between production and UAT only. Now I established between test one and UAT also. Right now I'm selecting test one. Click on upload. So let's wait. So something happened. Let me see once. Release 1.0. Upload. Test one. Upload. Okay. So instead, let's clone this and upload. It's better one. Now it is a fresh copy to upload. Yes, it is in progress. So your upload is currently in progress. So it is always good that you clone and upload. So let's go to our test one box. So go to inbound chain set. So nothing is available still. So now let's say one more time. Now it will be available. So I just got email. See, it is available. Source organization is UAT. From UAT, you got this chain set. You can see these details also. And what is the chain set name? Release 1.0. Right? Who is uploaded? Balaji Malavapuram. Right? So open this and you can validate. So default. So what is going to happen? It is not going to run any test classes as it is between sandbox to sandbox. See, no fields because it is not considering test classes. If you select default and deploy, simply select default only, deploy. Then you can go to deployment status. Deployment also succeeded. Now you can see Apex classes, what is available. You have account actions trigger and the contact trigger handler. Both are available. Along with that, you can have triggers also because I uploaded triggers, account actions and contact actions. Okay, this is how it works when you deploy components between two sandboxes and when you deploy between sandbox and production. So you always need to remember these points. This is how you can deploy. We saw this also. This is how you can deploy components between the organization which are connected through chain set. Okay, and how many files we can add to chain set? How many files? 10,000 files you can add into chain set. That's a limitation for now. Okay, whenever I say a count or numbers for now, so you always go through the official document. Today it is a 10,000. Tomorrow Salesforce may come up with another limitation. So you always consider official document for such kind of numbers or limitations. Okay, cool. So before I'm going to close this topic, I want to give you a tip. Okay, let's see. So always people always struggle to prepare a package.xml for anti-tool for their components with metadata components. So because few people may remember or may not remember, they have to go through the metadata components from the official document and they have to specify the components, and they may not know sometimes about the syntax also, how they can prepare the package.xml and the zip file. Okay, for that there is an easy method that you can create an outbound chain set if you have if your organization allowed chain sets. Then for now, what you have seen, release 1.1 is the outbound chain set name in your organization, right? So it's a tip for you, not part of this deployment. Okay, we already completed that session. So for you, just workbench.salesforce.com. Okay, so as we are in sandbox, let's take the sandbox, and here you take the sandbox credentials where you have chain set. So you can easily prepare a zip file with the package.xml with the components. Okay, I'll show you how it looks like. You can use this for your VS Code also, but it is not VS format, but you can use this package.xml for your VS Code. Okay, so if you see here under migration, you have retrieve option. Go to your chain set name, paste here under package names, and just check this checkbox, single package, next. Click on next, retrieve. Then it gives you a zip file. So whenever you don't have time, whenever you want to generate this package.xml quickly without going through the multiple documents or multiple search, you just need to upload all and don't upload. You just need to add all the components what you need into the chain set, and you can generate that package.xml from Workbench. So as I explained just now, click on download zip file and open this. Extract here. So see here, it's an AND tool format. Don't worry, but this package.xml will be useful. See, so sometimes you don't know how to prepare members for the fields, right? You just need you how to define object name dot that field name. Like that, you have different kind of things for page layouts, for reports and dashboards, for folders, these and flows, these kind of things, and process builders. For these kind of things, you may not know how to include members, or how what kind of metadata you have to specify for your components. Then it is easy way to generate package.xml from Workbench. Okay, it's a tip for you. Don't worry, if you want to use, you can use it. Okay, cool. All the best. Please go through this references also. You have multiple things about chainset in this also. And please subscribe to Salesforce Textbook. All the best.